Okay. Okay. Right, I'm going to do the face this morning. Those eagle-eyed ones of you will notice it's a different bride because I did a couple of mistakes on it. I did the arm wrong. She's supposed to be holding something and the height was wrong. So I've used the other bride for another couple, which you can see in the background looking very creepy. So I'm going to use this one instead. I made it up yesterday and I'll do the face now. Okay, so a little bit of white. So the idea is to make the eyes look, well, semi-lifelike. So a little bit of white, roll it into a cone. See that? And then you put it into the eye socket that you made. And then the same with the other eye. Okay. And then what I do next is I get a color shaper. I'm just move that camera down a tiny bit, don't you, so you can see the bottom. There, color shaper, which is, I use a firm for this, and it's just like it's called the taper point. Yeah, so a little bit of baby oil, and then I just go over it just to smooth it over. You can do it with your fingers, you can do it with the ball tool, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just gonna, now I need to try and get the eyes looking pretty similar. And this one here is sticking out a little bit, the white's sticking out. So I'm just gonna slice it off and then do the same with this one. Baby oil, not too much. Like so. So you've got two eyes there, nice and white. About the same size, looking like something out of a horror movie. Okay, she's got blue eyes, so I'm just going to get the blue that I've mixed up earlier. I keep like a line of spare bits of clay over here that I've mixed, because sometimes it's just, you mix it up and it's got you've got loads of a colour that you don't really need, and then you put it in your scrap and you use it for a base, and then you need it again. So that's my scrap pile and all my other little piles. Right. So a little bit of blue or whatever colour your eyes are, roll them up into, you literally need it really, really tiny. Where did I just put that bit? Yeah, so it's a tiny little, that might even be a bit too big. Yeah, I'm just sliced a tiny bit off. It's all a bit of a learning curve though. You play with it and see how you get on. But that's how small I'm going. Now what I do is I flatten it a little bit before I put it onto the face. So I squish it down on the table, and then you need to work out where you want to put the eyes looking. So he's looking over at her, so I'm going to do the same with her. and then push it onto the white. Now, it all depends on how realistic you want to make your eyes, but mine obviously aren't. They're just like little caricature type things. But if you want your eyes really realistic and you want to make them in proportion, the actual black part, the pupil, if you look in the mirror, always is in the middle of the coloured part. So wherever you look, your pupil is always in the middle. So if you're looking up, down, anyway, it's always in the middle. But I don't do my eyes like that because they're not realistic, and to me it doesn't work that way. So I'm just I put mine right on the edge of the coloured part where they're looking. So she's looking at him. So right on the side like that. Voila. Okay, so that's the under part of the eyes, and I push it quite hard, so it's not like a tiered sticking out eye. It's kind of pretty much level. You can see that. Right, so now I'm going to do the eyelash part that I do. So I roll a tiny, like literally really thin. And this is really frustrating, this part, because if you've got sticky fingers or anything like that, it sticks to you. So the amount of times I swear, because I just can't get it to stick properly. Right, so it's really thin, and it's literally on top of my finger. And I start from right on the middle bit of the white. Never ever goes on that easily, by the way. So she's got that now, and I put it along the white so that it's down like that, and then after I've done that, I just flick it up a tiny bit, and then the other eye. Okay, like that. Then what I do is I take another tiny little piece, same kind of thickness that I've done with the last two, and I take two little tiny ends of them. Get that so you can see it. Like that. Two little points. And then just where it starts to dip, I attach this on and flick it up like that. So it gives her her eyelashes. And then the same on the other side. There we go. She pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to add the bottom lid to that. So that's done in skin color. So I need to clean my hands. Because otherwise the skin color will get black in it and it won't look right underneath. So it'll be a different color. So okay, so a nice clean piece of skin color. So I've taken this straight out of the packet, and I'll just condition a little piece here. Right. Right, so I've rolled a long, thin little sausage out. Now, I try to keep it quite thick because you're putting pressure on it, bringing it down to blend it with the eye. And as you blend it, you're thinning it out. So if you're putting it like on the bottom of the coloured part and the black part, if it gets too thin, it will go see through, and you'll be able to see the bottom of the pupil through the bottom eyelid. I don't know if I've got one I can show you. No, it's okay. No, but if I do it here wrong, you'll be able to see it. So I cut this in half, and it's quite chunky piece. And so I'm going to just stick it. Now, you don't need to use the glue, the liquid Fimo stuff here, because the white of the eye's raw anyway, so it will just stick. Plus, you've used baby oil on the raw clay, which makes it even more sticky. Right, so we're there at the moment. So she looks a bit odd. Can you see that? Why is that not focusing? Okay. Focus nicely at the back. You're focusing on the ones at the back. Don't focus on the ones at the back, Mr. Camera. Focus on these ones. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little tool that I showed you yesterday. This one from my amazing manicure set. Little bit of baby oil. He loves the baby oil. And basically what you've got to do is you've got to push it down. You've got to push it down into itself. It's going to look odd because you're blending baked clay with raw clay. So it will look odd to start with, but don't worry, because once that's properly baked, then it will match. So, and I mean properly baked, like after the final bake, because you're only par baking all the way through. So just blend it in, rub it together, both sides. Get your finger molding like that. So you can see that there. I mean, it looks better already. And then the same with the other side. Now here is where, if you've got like a split in the eye where it's split when you put it in, I've got a tiny one here. This is where you fill it. When you're blending this in, if you just push up and over any cracked parts, it fills it in. It's so good. And then you can wipe the excess away in a minute. Okay, so like that. And then what I do afterwards is I take the colour shaper, one I was using before, and I just rub it over. So you see here, right in the middle here, there's a line. You can see a line that's where it joins. If you just rub over it gently, it'll go, and that will give you a more defined eye, more realistic, like that. It's the small things. I make these up as I go along, and then I do them, and I think, oh, actually, I quite like that, and then I do them all the time. It gives you like a nice defined cheek where the cheek begins down from the bridge of the nose. Looks quite pretty like that. It gives her like a kind of cutesy look too. Let's give it a nice smooth over like that. Yeah, and what you need to do now is do her little eyebrows. Now, sometimes if I'm feeling clumsy, which is quite often, I actually pre-bake it after I've done the eyebrows, so that I don't knock the eyebrows off when I'm doing the hair. But today I'm not going to, because I'm doing this video and I don't want it to be too bitty. You've already got one video for the head. Now the eyebrows are I normally do in the same color as the hair, purely because not everybody wants these ridiculous eyebrows that everybody's wearing at the moment. So I just do them normally unless I'm told otherwise. But yeah, I mean, you do need to keep up with the trends if you're making stuff like this. But unless somebody specifically says to me, you know, and or in all their pictures they've clearly got trendy eyebrows, then I'll just make them the same color as the hair. So just even those out. What's going on there? A bit lopsided, lady. What have I done to you? You poor girl. Right. I'm going to give her some hair now. So I'm going to put this liquid Fimo on her head. Now on ladies' heads, if they've got hair, then this flat part here you need to do thicker so that it's rounded when it's baked. On a man, it's more important that you add in, or well, I do anyway. You don't have to, but I add in a bit at the back of the head there, to make it a little bit more realistic, so that it doesn't look like he's got a flat head. This guy's bald, so I've done it in skin color, and he's going to have shading for his hair because basically he's got no hair. But if, say, for example, the groom had dark hair, I would just do this curved part at the back of the head in the same color that I'm doing the hair, just because it doesn't make sense for me to do the back of the head and then the hair when I might as well just do the hair thicker. So I'm doing her hair a bit thicker at the back to make it look less like I've thrown her head across the room. So know what style you're doing in advance. I know what style I'm doing here. So you just kind of you got to roll with it, basically. I normally start at the side. Stop going out of focus. And how I do the hair is by rolling thin pieces in my hands. Some people use an extruder gun, but I don't because, well, basically because they're rubbish. No, because I don't get on with them. It's too much hassle for me. my hands get slippery, they get sore, and it's easier for me to just roll them in my hand. But everybody's different. Just keep a picture of the hair. So you know what you're doing. Just make sure it's not cracking when you do it. Keep it nice and soft. And take your time on it. It's important to just take your time on it because it's always nicer if you don't rush. These heads can get a bit slippy with the glue on them, and sometimes you find that you've been putting the hair on and it's sliding down, and it's sometimes it falls off in like a great big wig, which drives me nuts. So you just got to keep remembering to press it in every now and then so that it's not falling off. I always make sure that the little ends of the hair, as much as possible, are touching the bride, because even though clay's really hard when it's baked, it can sometimes it is sometimes a bit brittle, and you want to minimize the amount of risk of breaking models in the post. Looks a bit old at the front at the moment. Right, this bride's got fringe. This is the bit where it all comes together, hopefully. She's becoming quite cute. Right, so she's got the... Yeah, look at that. Love that. Finish off the front. Okay, so that looks like it could be the front done. Right, it's just time to finish the back. Okay, and then let's do the last bit at the back here. So she's got a nice curly bit coming down. Right, and then along here, this top bit here, it looks a bit odd at the moment because she's going to have flowers in that top bit at the top there, that top there. And then once you think you've finished, just go around one more time, filling in any holes that you see that you can see the head through. Making it look a bit fuller. Okay. Yeah. Nearly there. And have a little look over it. Just make sure you're happy. A little bit gap there. And there we go. So I'm happy with her hair at the moment. Just going to pop that in. Now they are both going to go in for their final bake. His hand is already baked. Yeah, it is already baked somewhere. If not, I'll bake another one in there for what he's going to be holding. And then once they are fully baked, so this is their final bake, they go in for half an hour. And once they've been in, I will add all the details to the dress and all the. I'll video the bit with the hair before I do any details to the dress, and then you can see how I finish off the head. And that's that. Thank you.